Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current latest news. So if you do consider drop your likes, and if you do consider subscriber to the channel, as always, lots to talk about on this current video today. I'm going to give you an update on of what's going on in regards to Daniel James, going to give you the latest news of what's going on with Paul Pogba, and as I said, lots of other things to currently talk about. So the first topic of the development I'm going to give you an update on is in regards to Swansea City's Daniel James. Now, as you all know, as I updated you earlier on, that obviously now Daniel James has agreed personal terms with Manchester United. I believe that an initial fee of around £15 million has also been agreed. Well, I think if add-ons are included in the deal, I think it could rise the fee to around £20 million. Obviously, we do know that the stories broke out about this earlier on in the month, saying that Manchester United were close to agreeing a deal for around £15 million for Daniel James. But the big question is, has he got the capabilities? Has he got the attributes to succeed in the Premier League? And can he meet expectation levels at Manchester United? And has he got the ability? Has he got the minerals, to make it to the highest level? Because obviously at the moment he hasn't played to the highest level. Daniel James. Quite a few teams have attracted their interest in him, as you all know. Brighton have came in right at the final hurdle, to try and get Daniel James. But I think from Daniel James's perspective, he has blatantly, made it clear that his preferred destination is Manchester United. It hasn't been finalised yet. It hasn't been made official. But I think the fee has been agreed. I think it's around 15 million, and the terms have been agreed. So the move is imminent, to be quite honest with you. But as I said, it's a surprise solution. It's a low expectation. He is a cheap acquisition. But I think a few other teams have been interested. I think Everton have inquired about getting him. Obviously, Leeds were on the verge of getting him back in the January transfer window. So looking at it, ultimately, he's going to be our first signing this summer. But I think he's played about 30 odd games for Swansea this season. I think he's only got a year left on his deal. But as you all know, only 21 years of age, and he has got a lot of years ahead of him. Primarily plays on the wing. You can rotate him to the right, but you see the best. He's mostly effective from that left hand side. He can also play him as an attacking midfielder. Can Daniel James. So I hope he can do well at Manchester United, of course. And I have got some strong reservations about him. I think he's not very good in the air. When it comes to his defensive abilities, I've got concerns about him. But I think he's I think he's very good when it comes to an attacking intent. I think he's very good. I think he's very quick on the ball. Is Daniel James. So hopefully he can do well for Manchester United. But as we all do currently know, reflecting back towards the back end of the season, Ole Gunnar Solsjaker was asked about the speculation of linking Daniel James with a move to Manchester United, and Ole Gunnar Solsjaker, of course, refused to comment on it, because obviously Ole Gunnar Solsjaker is aware that there's a lot of individuals linked with a move to Manchester United. Ole Gunnar Solsjaker also said that he had been contacted by a number of agents, saying that their players, do currently want to come to Manchester United. But looking at it from a financial point of view, he is a cheap alternative, he's Daniel James. Because as I did say, it's not always about getting the Galactico players. It's not always about, spending a big on players, as Manchester United have got a history of doing. We spent, 75 million on Lukaku. We spent £89 million on Paul Pogba, and that's not got us nowhere. And so it doesn't always guarantee you success, and it doesn't always, of course, get you in that commanding position, of course, where you want to be. So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not intending on bringing any short-term players in, but I hope Daniel James can do well for Manchester United, and the move now is imminent, of course. So yeah, it's looking likely he's going to be coming to Manchester United. The terms have been agreed. I think the fee has been agreed. It'll have to be 15 million, but if add-ons are included, it will rise the deal to 20 million pounds. But he has been impressive throughout the course of this season, so it's looking likely we're going to get him on the board. And big news coming out about Paul Pogba. I want to give you an update on, of course. Obviously, we do know reportedly that Paul Pogba is holding Manchester United transfers up, and I think Man United are waiting, for his future, to be clarified, before we do make a move for Tango Ndombele. Now, I have been updating you on a regular basis about Tango Ndombele, but reportedly now Man United are reluctant, to make any kind of approach or offer for Tango Ndombele until we know what's going on with Paul Pogba. But now, the big breaking news about Paul Pogba. Now, reportedly, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is set to offer Paul Pogba the captain's armband to convince him, to stay at the club. Because obviously, we know there's been a lot of rumours, linking Paul Pogba with Real Madrid. Obviously, a lot of Manchester United fans would like to see him stay. Maybe some Manchester United fans would like to see him go. I've just read an article saying that reportedly we've lowered our asking price for Pogba, and now Manchester United want around £138 million for him. Because initially, at one point, I think we wanted around 150 or £160 million million for Pogba, but obviously, Real Madrid are reluctant to currently pay that. But as I did say, if we can cash in for the likes of Paul Pogba, we can cash in for the likes of Lukaku, it's going to help us with our transition, and it will help us with our rebuilding process, because obviously we're going to get around £250 million to spend this summer. Obviously, Solskjaer wants to bring at least 5 new additions to the club. We are expected to orchestrate a big summer clear out, but he wants to bring at least 5 new additions in. So we cash in for Pogba, we cash in for Lukaku. That'll take our spending speed to over £450 million for this summer. But now it may be a change of scenery, because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to offer him that captain's armband, and reports came out about this a while ago saying that Man United were willing to offer him the captain's armband on a permanent basis, to convince Paul Pogba to stay at the club. I still think from Paul Pogba's perspective, he wants to leave the club. Obviously, reflecting back a month or so ago, he's talking a lot about Real Madrid, about his dream to currently play for them, of course, and maybe now Paul Pogba wants to take his career to the next level, because we have seen glimpses of Paul Pogba's best form. We mainly saw it in that 3-month period when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the interim manager, and mainly when we saw the best of Paul Pogba when Ander Herrera was playing. So that just emphasises how much of an impact Ander Herrera made when he was at Manchester United, because he used to free up the likes of Pogba, and it made Pogba express himself. He was scoring goals, he was providing, of course, but I think at least in the last 7 or 8 games, Paul Pogba's performances have been way below par, and that just emphasises he no longer wants to be at Manchester United. And maybe one of the main factor reasons why he doesn't want to be at the club, because maybe he wants to be up there challenging, wants to be up there, winning trophies, and Manchester United, of course, are a number of years of currently doing that, and maybe he wants to play amongst better players, and obviously he isn't getting this at Manchester United. But reports came out the other week actually saying that talks had been stalled, between Paul Pogba and Real Madrid, over the 13 million a year wage demands. He did say reportedly that Real Madrid were not willing to meet his 13 million a year wage demands, because obviously his wage demands do not fit in the structure of Real Madrid. So it did initially say then that his wages will get lowered, so he can make his move to Real Madrid. So I think he's initially willing to take a current pay cut. But Paul Pogba is 26 years of age. He's still in his prime. He has still got a lot of years ahead of him, and I think he's had a great career, so far, up until he came to Manchester United. As I said, we saw the best of him in that 3-month period, when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the interim manager. Obviously, Paul Pogba still got 3 years left on his contract with the club. Obviously, I think Man United before had been in negotiations, trying to get him a new contract. But we do know now, at least in the last 4 to 5 weeks, that his agent Raiola has been in the process, of trying to get him his dream move to Real Madrid. But yeah, he has still currently got 3 years left on his contract. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had spoken to Paul Pogba, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer still insists that Paul Pogba will be at Manchester United next season. But I do know if we let him go, it's going to be hard to find a player of Paul Pogba's level or calibre. I know that, but with the money we do get for Paul Pogba, we could get 2 players with that with that money. So I do believe he's probably still going to be making the move to Real Madrid. Obviously, Paul Pogba was heavily linked with a move away from Manchester United last year. Based on his poor relationship with Jose Mourinho. Obviously, he was linked with his former club Juventus. He was linked with a move to Barcelona, and there has still been rumours going on. That he could possibly make a return to Juventus, because Juventus are interested in re-signing him. But he did say Juventus would have to offload a couple of their essential players, to fund the current move for Paul Pogba. But initially, Man United wanted around £150 million for him. The Sportsman have just said now we've lowered his asking price, and now we're demanding around £138 million of Paul Pogba. But I think, we don't want to let Paul Pogba go at all, but I think if we're willing to do business, it said initial want around 150 million, now it's saying we want around 138 million, and obviously, when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer managed Manchester United reserve team, he watched some of this team at this day and age, grow and develop, and of course, one of them was Paul Pogba, and, Paul Pogba has built a great relationship up with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but as you all know, recent reports have said that their relationship is slowly fading, but Zinedine Zidane's a big admirer of the player. Obviously, Zinedine Zidane's identified his 2 main targets, and that's obviously Paul Pogba and Eden Hazard, but obviously now they've already got a deal over the line for Eden Hazard, so they're now focusing on currently getting Paul Pogba. And as I did say, we know we've got to, Solskjaer's going to have his final say in his summer transfer window, what players come in and what players leave, and obviously we've got to make a decision who's going to be the captain. But now reportedly Solskjaer is willing to offer, Paul Pogba the captain's armband. So whether Paul Pogba takes this or not, I do not know. It initially came out a while back saying that Paul Pogba was demanding around £500,000 a week from Manchester United if he was to currently sign a new contract, of course. So that's also, what currently got mentioned. So whether Paul Pogba goes or stays or not, I do not know. But we're not willing to make a move for Leon Sanguendoumbele until we clarify the situation with Paul Pogba. There has been a few teams in for Sanguendoumbele. He's a very, very good player. He's 22 years of age, very, very young. Still got a lot of years ahead of him as Tanguy Ndombele. You know, he's competitive, he's tenacious. You know, I think he's primarily a central midfielder, can also play him as a holding midfielder. Obviously, Leon got him permanently last summer for around £7 or £8 million, because initially he was on loan with Leon, and then obviously, you know, Leon made the deal permanent. But I like Tanguy Ndombele. He's not going to cost you cheap. I think he's initially valued at around £87 or £88 million, according to what reports I saw last week, that Tottenham, you know, were the leading contenders for his signature. It's also said the likes of Juventus have been interested in Tanguy Ndombele. It also said that PSG have been interested in Tanguy Ndombele. But I do believe he has been on Manchester United's agenda for some time. But we're not willing to make a move for Ndombele until the situation is resolved with Paul Pogba. But either way, I still believe that Paul Pogba is going to be leaving the club. And for me, I think it will be beneficial, of course. And I think, you know, the player to replace Paul Pogba, you know, would be Bruno Fernandes, in my opinion. I think Bruno Fernandes is a very, very good player. He's done really, really well with Sporting Lisbon. You know, and I think he's got all the attributes, you know, to come and succeed in the Premier League. And I do believe he'd tear the Premier League apart. And I do believe he'd produce and deliver the same element of the performances, you know, like if he came to the Premier League, you know, of what he's been doing in his couple of seasons, you know, with Sporting Lisbon. Bruno Fernandes is 24 years of age. You know, he has still got a lot of years ahead of him as Bruno Fernandes, and I do really, really like him. His initial release clause is around £86 million. Reportedly, Sporting Lisbon wanting around £60 million for him, but I do really, really like him. He's full of goals, full of assists, and it's bluntly made clear, you know, we need creativeness in that midfield, you know, we need depth in that midfield, and we need someone that can score goals in that midfield, and I do believe that Bruno Fernandes would be the right solution. He has been on Manchester United's agenda, you know, for quite some time now. Obviously, you know, Manchester City have been in for Bruno Fernandes. Obviously, you know, City had seen him as a replacement of Fernandinho, but City have been in for Bruno Fernandes. It initially said the other week that City were in talks with Sporting Lisbon over the deal for around £47 million, and it did initially say that City were willing to offer one or two of their players as part of the deal, and it came out and said allegedly that City adopted him out of the race for Bruno Fernandes. But I do really, really like him, of course, and I think if he came to the Premier League, you know, it would take his career to the next level. So I'd definitely, you know, love him to come in, and obviously he's primarily an attacking midfielder, but he's been fantastic this season with Sporting Lisbon. Obviously had a lot of experience of playing in Italy, you know, when he was younger with the likes of Sam Pandora and underneath. But Man United have been scouting him now at least for the last couple of months, you know, reflecting on his impressive performances. So I hope somewhere online, you know, we can get a deal over the line for Bruno Fernandes. As you all know, Joe Felix, of course, recent reports have come out about him now saying that Man United have opened up negotiations, you know, with Benfica to currently sign, you know, Joe Felix. Reportedly now, Manchester United are prepared to, you know, trigger his £100 million buyout clause. He's got in his deal with Benfica, and I do believe that Joe Felix, you know, can become one of the best players in the world. I don't think he can emulate into like a Ronaldo, a Messi, or Neymar, but I still believe he can become one of the best. And I think if he came to the Premier League, you know, it would help him, you know, with his developing process. I think he's been fantastic this season for Benfica. You know, he's scored goals, he's provided. He's primarily an attacking midfielder. He's Joe Felix. You know, he can play as a winner. He can also play as a striker. So I do really, really like him. Reports, you know, came out. Was it yesterday or the day before, saying that Man United yet again instructed scouts, you know, to watch him at the weekend. And Man United have been scouting him now at least for months and months. Man United have been scouting, you know, reflecting on his impressive performances. Obviously, he's yet to make his senior debut for Portugal, and this has only been his first season in his senior squad with Benfica, but he's been absolutely fantastic indeed, and I do believe he's got all the capabilities and the attributes, you know, to currently succeed in the Premier League. And I'd love Bruno Fernandes and Joe Felix, but I don't see he's getting a deal over the line for both of them. I think initially they'd probably cost you around £150 million, you know, with the pair, but I think quite a few teams have attracted their interest in Joe Felix. I think the likes of City have been in for him. Obviously, you know, Liverpool had a bid turned down for him in January. I think Real Madrid, of course, are in for him. So there's a number of clubs that are interested in Joe Felix. Only 19 years of age, you know, has got a lot of years ahead of him. So I do believe he'd be the right solution for Manchester United. But Manchester United are willing to pay his £100 million buyout clause, and £100 million is a lot of money, you know, in general, but definitely a lot of money, you know, for a 19-year-old player. But I do believe he's got everything, you know, to succeed in the Premier League, and I do believe he would take his career to the next level. But as I said, it's going to be hard for us to attract players to the elite level because we're not in Champions League football for next season. But Solsjaker, as I said, still believes we can attract players to the elite level even though we're not in Champions League football. So yeah, I'd love Joe Felix to come in. Manchester United are in talks of getting a deal. Man United are in talks with Benfica over getting a current deal over the line. So I'm a big fan of him. As you all currently know, though, Alexis Sanchez now, it's looking likely he's going to be on his way out of the club as Alexis Sanchez, which is very, very good news. Obviously, we won't be able to get rid of him permanently, based on his, substantial wages. Obviously, Sanchez is the highest paid player at the club. He's the highest paid player in the Premier League. And, and I think his wages are having a really, really bad effect on the club. Obviously, as you all know, reports were... Wait down a minute. As you all know, guys, put my phone in charge. As you all know, reports were reflecting out the other week, saying that Juventus and Inter Milan have expressed their interest in Alexis Sanchez, and it did say they have been in negotiations with Alexis Sanchez's agent, because obviously Sanchez's agent was currently in Italy. Obviously, I think Man United have agreed, to let him go on a long season loan, of either Inter Milan or Juventus. And I think Man United, of course, are willing to currently pay half his wages off. But Alexis Sanchez has not met expectation levels Manchester United, as I thought he would have done. Reflecting back what he did at Arsenal, he was fantastic. He played under Pep Guardiola at Barcelona when he was younger, Sanchez. But I think he will be playing his trade in Italy next season. I don't know which team is going to, whether it will be Inter Milan or Juventus, but we do know it's them two teams that are currently battling it out for him. Obviously, when Sanchez was younger, he had experience of playing in Italy, with underneath. And obviously, this is when Sanchez was a lot younger. But Sanchez has become injury prone, since he's come to Manchester United. He's sustained about 4 injuries. He's been so inconsistent as well. And we do need to get rid of Alexis Sanchez, because obviously he's one of the problematic players. I think he's on 400 grand a week, potentially rises up to around 500 grand a week, based on image rights, the goals and the bonuses, I think. So it is around £500,000 a week. And we'd love to get rid of him permanently, but obviously, no team can afford to pay his wages off. And obviously, he's been so inconsistent anyway. He doesn't have a future at the club. He's 30 years of age now. He has lost that yard of pace. He's had years of experience now under his belt in the Premier League, but he's only been at Manchester United 6 months, and he's already sustained about 4 injuries. And initially, he hasn't been first choice anywhere. So I think he's going to be either going to Inter Milan or Juventus. So that's probably where he will be applying his trade next season. But Sanchez's agent, has been in Italy, to try and resolve this problem. But yeah, I think he will be going Alexis Sanchez. I think himself, he has agreed the pay cut. So this is very, very good news. As he updated you yesterday, there was a lot of news going on about Gareth Bale yesterday. But obviously now with Daniel James supposedly coming in, Bale won't be able to come in anywhere. And I don't want Bale Manchester United either way. Obviously, if you've asked me a couple of years ago, I would have took Gareth Bale at Manchester United, of course. And but I think Real Madrid, have made it bluntly clear they want him out. Obviously, Zinedine Zidane has admitted that Gareth Bale no longer fits his plans at Real Madrid. Zinedine Zidane has also declared that Gareth Bale has no future at Real Madrid. I know it's obviously now that there is no relationship, between Bale and Zinedine Zidane. But yeah, I think Bale is going to be leaving Real Madrid. I don't think from Bale's perspective he wants to leave Real Madrid. I think from his own perspective, I think he wants to, spend the rest of his career with Real Madrid. Obviously, I don't want Gareth Bale at Manchester United. He's 29 years of age, nearly 30, and obviously, as you all know, Solsjaker made it clear he doesn't want to bring any short-term players to the club. Gareth Bale, I think, Real Madrid would have to loan him out anyway. As I said, they'd have to loan him out because obviously based on his substantial wages, no team's going to, I don't think many teams would be able to afford Gareth Bale, if Real Madrid, were to get rid of him permanently. I think maybe my club, Manchester United, could afford Gareth Bale, but we do know the rumours have continued to persist since like 2013. The rumours have been going on. He's been linked to a move to Manchester United since 2013 as Gareth Bale. And Bale now is 29, he's nearly 30. Of course, he's injury prone as well as Gareth Bale. But obviously, he's been at Real Madrid 6 years now. I think he's won about 13 trophies with them. I think he's played about 231 times for Real Madrid. He's still got 3 years left in his contract, so he's under contract with them until 2022. There has also been talks that he could make a return back to Tottenham, go out on loan to Tottenham. But whether Tottenham are interested in taking him back to, whether Tottenham are interested in taking him back, I'm not too sure. But I think from Bale's perspective, he doesn't want to currently leave. But Bale's been so inconsistent in the last couple of seasons with Real Madrid, very, very inconsistent. And obviously, when Real Madrid lost Ronaldo last summer, obviously it would all lies down on Bale from Zinedine Zidane's perspective. And obviously he didn't step up to the plate, Gareth Bale. So Real Madrid want him out. And even if Real Madrid, were to get rid of him permanently, they're not going to be able to recoup the initial £85 million they paid for him from Tottenham back in 2013. They may get maybe 55 or 60 million pounds from him, but they're not going to recoup the initial £85 million. I think it was a world record fee, you know, then back in 2013. But yeah, I don't want Bale at Manchester United. I know he had a lot of experience of playing in the Premier League, you know, when he was younger. He had years of experience under his belt in the Premier League. You know, he had 6 good years there with Tottenham when he was younger. But I don't want him now at Manchester United. I do believe he's on the decline, and plus he's injury prone. And this is another main factor reason why I don't want him at Manchester United. And, you know, United board would see him as a Galactico player if we got him. He is a good player, Bale, don't get me wrong, but I just don't want a player that's injury prone. I don't want a player that's aging up, and that's really it, to be quite honest with you. And obviously his wages are absolutely extortionate indeed. I think he's on about 600 grand a week, Gareth Bale, if I'm right, at Real Madrid. But yeah, Real Madrid have bluntly made it clear they want him out. Zinedine Zidane wants him out. I think Florentino Perez, the Real Madrid president, wants him out, and I think Real Madrid have wanted him out at least in the last couple of seasons. But he has been linked to a move to Manchester United for a number of years. But if you've asked me a couple of years ago, I would have took Gareth Bale, but I don't want him now at Manchester United. Maybe some Manchester United fans would like to see him coming, but everyone has a different opinion. No, I wouldn't be one of them, those people. And talking about Ryan Sessegnon from Fulham, we do know in the last 4 days, at least, there has been a lot of talks going on about Ryan Sessegnon. I like Ryan Sessegnon a lot. I think he's a really, really good player, Ryan Sessegnon. Obviously, you know, he's got a year of experience in the Premier League under his belt. Obviously, the Championship the season before. And obviously now he's had 3 years worth of experience in Fulham's squad as Ryan Sessegnon. Has made over 100-odd appearances in all competitions. Obviously, can play as a left-back. Obviously, can play as a left winger. I do believe now he's predominantly a left winner, is Ryan Sessegnon. But so far, he has spent the entirety of his career at Fulham. Only 19 years of age, you know, just turned 19. He's been on Tottenham's agenda for a while. I think Juventus, of course, have expressed their interest in Ryan Sessegnon. I don't see Manchester United getting him. I think initially Fulham would demand that they want around £40 million for Sessegnon. But I think, you know, I think the main factor reason he'll be leaving Fulham, because obviously he's reluctant to spend another season in the Championship. Obviously Fulham now are in the Championship next season, obviously relegated from the Premier League after only spending 1 season in the top flight. Ryan Sessegnon has only got a year left on his deal with Fulham anywhere. But I think Tottenham have been long admirers of the player. But I think Man United in the past have been linked with him a couple of times. Ryan Sessegnon maybe wants to now take his career to the next level, maybe wants to go to a competitive elite level football club, and this is what I think Ryan Sessegnon is after. But yeah, he has spent the entirety of his career with Fulham, you know, made his senior debut at just the age of 16, so has been very, very impressive. The first player as well to be born in the 2000s, you know, to score a goal in the first team game, and I'd love Ryan Sessegnon, you know, I think he'd blend in very, very well in our team, but I think we're okay on that left hand side anyway, and obviously we're supposedly Daniel James coming in, you know, we're not going to get Ryan Sessegnon on the board, so I probably do believe Ryan Sessegnon could end up going to Tottenham. I don't think he'll go to Juventus. I don't think he'd be keen on going abroad, so I don't think he'd want to be playing his trade abroad next season, Ryan Sessegnon. I think he'll definitely stay in England, so I presume that he may be willing to go to Tottenham. £40 million is a reasonable figure, you know, for Ryan Sessegnon. But as I said, he's only got a year left on his deal. I think we are the only team to actually make any initial contact with Fulham over the potential move for him. So we're the only club that have made contact with Fulham regarding the move for Ryan Sessegnon. But yeah, I think it'd still be a great candidate, you know, for the club. He's 19, he's got a hell of a lot of years ahead of him. And I do believe, you know, it would be good for him, you know, to come to Manchester United. But I don't think it's currently going to happen. I don't think it's currently going to happen. Talking with you as well in regards to David De Gea, as you all know, obviously, as we all know, we have not yet come to an agreement to get David De Gea a new contract at the club. I do presume he's probably going to believe in his David De Gea, and I think we need to cash in for him this summer. We can't let him go on a free transfer next year, because that would be a calamity, and we can cash in for him this summer if we don't get him if we can't get him a new contract. You know, we could get 60 million, we could get 70 million for him. I know he's worth more than 70 million at full value for a goalkeeper. I'd say he's worth around 100 million pounds, because he is potentially, you know, the best goalkeeper in the world. But, you know, reflecting on it, he's only got a year left on his contract. You know, we're not going to get 100 million pounds for David De Gea. But I do believe if he leaves, he's going to go to PSG. You know, PSG are intending now on getting him on a free transfer next year. So obviously this means, you know, they don't have to pay any fee, and this would obviously, you know, tempt them to offer him a bigger salary, of course. And, you know, now reportedly De Gea is demanding he wants around 400 grand a week for Manchester United. If he's to sign a new contract contract and commit his long-term future of the club. Reportedly, Ed Woodward is refusing to meet his £400,000 a week wage demands, but I hope we can come to an agreement to get David De Gea a new contract. He has been a great servant to the club. He's been here 8 years. He has made over 300 appearances in all competitions as De Gea. He's won everything here domestically. He's won the club's player of the year 4 times out of the last 5 years. The Sir Matt Busby player of the year he's won 3 times out of the last 4 years, based on his fantastic performances. And I do know he was making, costly average, towards the back end of the season, but I think that's mainly due to, the contractual situation. And I don't even think he wants to be at Manchester United anymore. He's been a good servant here, as I said. He has been, I think he's still got years ahead of him, De Gea, because he's 28 years of age. I still believe he's got about 4 or 5 years left in him, maybe even longer. But I do believe if he leaves, he will be playing his trade in France with PSG. Obviously, we know Real Madrid have been long admirers of David De Gea, but, I don't think Real Madrid will get him. Obviously, Real Madrid were on the verge of getting him back in 2015, but due to a fax machine, the deal never materialised. So if De Gea leaves the club, we're going to need a replacement for him. And, this has been a problem with Manchester United. We've been letting far too many players' contracts run down. Example, Rashford's in final year of his deal. We haven't yet got him a new contract. We've let Ander Herrera go on a free transfer. And I don't understand why we give Smalling and Jones, new long-term contracts. I don't understand really why we give Ash Young a new one-year extension. So that's a bad judgment for Manchester United. But like I said, we need a replacement for De Gea if he currently leaves the club. You do know recently there has been a lot of talks about Andrea Onana from Ajax, the Ajax goalkeeper. It did initially say Man United had a bid of around £35 million, a £35 million bid turned down for him. I think he's initially valued at around £40 million by Ajax. He's only 23, but he has got experience. He's had 3 years worth of experience as Ajax's starting goalkeeper. Don't really know much about him, to be quite honest. So can't really comment about him. I don't really know much about him. But yeah, he's only 23 years of age. He's had 3 years worth of experience. I think he's a Cameroon international. And Ajax have got a really, really good young squad. So do you believe he'd be a good replacement for David De Gea? And obviously we do know Manchester United need a right back. As you all know, we definitely need a right back. And we need a replacement for Valencia. We need an upgrade to Ashley Young without a shadow of a doubt. And we need a covered up for Diego Dalot. Now, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, recent reports have said Crystal Palace want £60 million for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Now, Aaron Wan-Bissaka is regarded as the best right back in the Premier League. I think his defensive capabilities are fantastic, and I do believe he's got the ability to elevate Manchester United at least in the next 2 to 3 years. And I think he'd stand out fantastically well in that right back position. And I think fullback has been a concern, in the last couple, at least in the last couple of seasons, for Manchester United. I don't think we need a left back. I believe that we definitely need a right back, and I do believe Aaron Wan-Bissaka, would be the current right solution. He's been on Manchester United's agenda, for quite some time now. He's only 21 years of age. He's British. He's got a lot of years ahead of him. Obviously now had over a year's worth of experience in the senior squad with Crystal Palace, because he only got into Crystal Palace's first team in February of last year. Down Wan-Bissaka. Still got 3 years left on his contract. And so Crystal Palace are demanding that they want around £68 million for him. Initially, when he was a lot younger, he actually started off as a winner, but obviously then he got rotated to a right back, did Wan-Bissaka. But so far he has spent the entirety of his career with Crystal Palace, and maybe now he feels as though he's good enough, to take his career to the next level. But I think reports came out a while back saying that Aaron Wan-Bissaka is intending on spending at least another season with Palace. So if Man United are willing to pay £60 million, we could get a deal over the line for him. And obviously, we want to get central defenders in, and I think we need around 2 central defenders. Someone that can go alongside Victor Lindelof, and yeah, I think we do need 2 central defenders, because obviously we've got the likes of Smalling and Jones that are not good enough for Manchester United. Again, Smalling and Jones have been 2 long-serving players at the club. Smalling's been here 9 seasons, Jones has been here 8 seasons, of course. So they've been 2 long-serving players here. And comparing Smalling and Jones, I think Smalling's much better. But as I said, I think they both need to go in the summer, but it's not going to happen. So I do believe they'll be here next season. Of course, Eric Bailly, I think Man United, we're looking to recruit the initial £30 million. We did pay for him, back in 2016 from Villarreal. Eric Bailly, he burst into the scene, when he came into the Premier League, but I think his career has been badly affected, with his fallout under managers, with his injuries he has sustained. So it has really taken its toll on Eric Bailly. So I do want him out of the club in the summer, even though I still highly rate him. I think he's got a great potential. But the central defenders Manchester United have been interesting is obviously, being Koulibaly, and as reports emerged from the Italian press yesterday, saying Manchester United had around a £95 million bid turned down for Koulibaly, and obviously he's been on Manchester United's agenda for some time. Reflecting back last year, we was heavily linked. We started, we was heavily linked with him under the Jose Mourinho era. Obviously though, we didn't get his number one targets last summer, because obviously last summer the board weren't back in the signings. Jose Mourinho wanted to recommend her to come in, and obviously, our priority was to get a centre back in. But Koulibaly has been on Manchester United's agenda, for some time. Obviously, last year we had 3 bids turned down for him, and I think we had a £95 million bid also, turned down for him last year. I think the only chance we have got of getting Koulibaly, if we were preparing to offer around 120 or 130 million pounds, this could convince Napoli to sanction him up. But I don't think Man United are willing to pay up to 120 or 130 million pounds for Koulibaly. But yeah, we had a £95 million bid turned down for him. But without a shadow of a doubt, either way, we've got to break the world transfer record, to get a deal over the line for him. But I do believe he's got all the capabilities, he's got all the attributes, to definitely succeed in the Premier League. Highly experienced, 27, nearly 28 years of age. He's strong, he's quick, he's very, very good in the air, very physical, holds his line really, really well. His distribution's very, very good, and I do think he'd be a great leader in our back line with Victor Lindelof, with Koulibaly. I think his initial release clause is around 110 million in his deal with Napoli. He's under contract with Napoli until 2023. But looking at it from a financial point of view, Napoli would make a huge profit on the player. Looking like they got him for next to no from Genk, back in 2014, and he has been at Napoli 5 seasons. I think he's made like over 200 odd appearances in all competitions as Koulibaly, and so Man United have been linked to him for a very, very long time. Obviously, we have now identified him as our, as the club's number one priority target. But initially it was Jadon Sancho, that was the club's number one priority target. But obviously now, we're not going to get Jadon Sancho, because I think he's committed to Borussia Dortmund. He's intending on spending at least another season there with Borussia Dortmund. And obviously the main factor reason why I think we've missed out on Jadon Sancho, because we failed to get in a Champions League for next season. And I do believe if Jadon Sancho was to come back to the Premier League, because he's had experience of playing in the Premier League, had a couple of years experience in the Premier League under his belt, I think it'd help him with his developing process. I think it'd create a better platform for Jadon Sancho. But I really, really like him. He's 19 years of age. He has still got a lot of years ahead of him. Man United were willing to pay his £100 million valuation, but I think he's fully committed to Borussia Dortmund. So he was the club's number one priority target for a very, very long time. But now we've identified Koulibaly as our number one target. But yeah, the rumours do continue to persist about it. Recently, Carlo Ancelotti regarded him as one of the best centre backs in the world. But I'd love him to come in. We haven't had a world class central defender, since we had the likes of Vidic, since we had the likes of Ferdinand. So I would potentially, love Koulibaly to come in. Obviously, there has been a lot of talks going on about De Ligt. I think now a move is imminent for him, to Barcelona, because I think he's made an admission that he does want to make the move to Barcelona this summer, De Ligt. So he has rejected Manchester United. He has rejected Liverpool, because obviously he's attracted interest from us and Liverpool as De Ligt. Obviously, recent reports did say that Liverpool have been in negotiations with De Ligt, for the summer transfer, from Ajax, of course. And I think the main factor reason why Liverpool have showed their interest in De Ligt, because obviously, they've got Virgil van Dijk, Liverpool, and obviously Virgil van Dijk and De Ligt know each other really, really well. Obviously, they're both Dutch, they both play in the Netherlands national team. I think this is why Liverpool expressed their interest. Obviously, now it does say that Liverpool have opted out of the race, but looking at it, Liverpool don't need a central defender. They've got Virgil van Dijk, who they paid £75 million for. He's addressed their defensive deficiencies very well. They've also, got Joe Matip there. They've got Joe Gomez. They've also got Dejan Lovren, so Liverpool don't even need a central defender. And I really, really like De Ligt, and I wanted him, to come to Manchester United. It hasn't been official yet. He's gone to Barcelona, but Barcelona have obviously, been amongst the favourites to get him. But he's destined, to join Barcelona. Is De Ligt. De Ligt is initially valued at around £65 million. So either way, he's not currently going to come cheap. He's very, very tall as well, which is very, very beneficial. But he has so far spent the entirety of his career with Ajax. Obviously, joined their youth system at the age of 9. Obviously, I think he made his senior debut in 2016. So obviously now he's had 3 years worth of experience in their senior squad. Obviously, he's been an integral part of their team as De Ligt, and he does hold his line very, very well. But looking at it, he can leave Ajax, with his head held up high. Obviously, clinching the domestic double with Ajax this season, including the Eredivisie title, for the first time in 5 years, and of course progressing his team to the Champions League semi-final, De Ligt. But I do believe he wants to take his career to the next level. He's actually the only defender as well, to win the Golden Boy Award. I think he won this back in 2018. But he's only 19 years of age, very, very young, has got a lot of years ahead of him. And Edwin van der Sar was reflecting, quite a few weeks back. He did say, Edwin van der Sar is the CEO of Ajax, he bluntly made it clear that he's convinced, that, De Ligt will leave Ajax this summer. And he said, Van der Sar, he thinks he'll either move to England or he thinks he'll move to Spain. So that's why he'll be playing his trade in Spain next season with Barcelona, will De Ligt. But I do really, really like him. And and obviously Barcelona have already got a deal over the line for his current teammate, Frankie de Jong. Obviously Barcelona agreed 65 million. It were either 65 or 75 million. It were one of them. But either way, they agreed this with Ajax, of course, and Frankie de Jong is set to be joining Barcelona. So it looks like they have run the race for De Ligt, Barcelona. So he won't be coming to experience the Premier League. Will De Ligt. So that's not going to be currently happening. Other central defenders have been interesting. Obviously, there's been talks about Alderweireld, but Alderweireld, I don't think we'll recommend him to come in. But looking at it from a financial point of view, he's a cheap alternative. He's Toby Alderweireld. He's a much cheaper alternative to the likes of the Koulibalys and the Harry Maguires and the De Ligts and all that, but nowhere near as good. And we're not going to bring him in because we don't want to bring any short-term plays in. He is now 30 years of age, Alderweireld. He has lost that yard of pace. He has got years of experience under his belt in the Premier League, of course, and he knows about the Premier League, and I still believe he would be a good upgrade in our defence, Alderweireld, but no, I don't think he'll come in. But his release clause is around £25 million this summer. But yeah, I don't see Alderweireld coming in. But he wants to leave, I think, because obviously, obviously he's refused to sign a new contract with Tottenham. So yeah, I don't see that currently happening. And so that's mainly everything to update you on, guys, as I said. But we sell Lukaku, we sell Pogba, and that, it will help us with our transition. Now, reportedly, as I said, Solskjaer is willing to offer, Paul Pogba the captain's armband, the captaincy, to convince him, of course, to stay at the club and snub a move to Real Madrid and remain loyal to Manchester United. And if he does remain loyal, that can be a good thing, of course. But obviously his performances either way have got to improve. But in regards to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, we've got to give him the summer to spend. Obviously, we do know we need to get a director of footballing, because we do need a structural change at the club. There has been quite a few names mentioned, but we need to recommend someone who knows about the club, someone who, of course, has got the experience. But Solskjaer's still in the process of rebuilding, because obviously, none of this squad is easy. Obviously, a lot of money has been spent at the club, since Alex Ferguson retired. We've had different managers with different philosophies, and I do think we're at least 3 or 4 years off, for mounting any kind of title challenge up. And I do believe that at least in the next couple of seasons, our aspirations is going to be that top four, fighting for that top four. And at the moment, City strides ahead of us. Liverpool are strides ahead of us. But I think it's going to be hard for us to get the players we want, because we're not in a Champions League football for next season. But looking at it, we're still a big club. Historically, we're the biggest club. We're the biggest club. We're the best club in England, and we still are one of the biggest clubs in the world. Looking at it, but as I said, we've been playing catch up, for the last 5 or 6 years, of course. So, yeah. So, the main part of this video was to give you more of an update on Daniel James. It hasn't been finalised as yet, from what I've seen anywhere. But I think a £15 million fee has been agreed. The personal terms have been agreed. The stories came out about this, earlier on in the month as well. And, so he is a surprise solution, is Daniel James. But this is the question. Has he got the ability, has he got the minerals, to make it to the highest level? Can he do well at Manchester United? Can he blend in very, very well in our attacking line? And I hope it works out for him. I really, really do. And but if it doesn't work out, then maybe Man United may consider loaning him out, or selling him or something like that. But we will see what currently happens. But so I do have reservations about Daniel James. Don't get me wrong, he's not good in the air. He's not good when it comes to his defensive abilities, which means he's obviously not good at tracking back. So I do have concerns about him in that aspect. But he can attack. He's really, really fast. Which is very, very beneficial. So I hope he can do well for us, and I hope he can exceed expectation levels. But looking at it, he's only cheap anyway. £15 million is a reasonable figure for him. But yeah, we'll see what happens. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do consider a subscriber to the channel, as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.